Greetings, YouTube. Today I'm going to talk about Jim Crow. Not the Jim Crow of the 1950s, but the Jim Crow of today. The new Jim Crow. There's an article I'm going to link to, and it has some interesting facts in it, which I thought I'd like to present to folks. As of 2004, more African American men were disenfranchised than in 1870, the year that the 15th Amendment was ratified, prohibiting laws that explicitly deny the right to vote on the basis of race. How are they disenfranchised? Because they have felony charges against them. There are more African Americans under correction control today, in prisons or jails, on prohibition or parole, than were enslaved in 1850, a decade before the Civil War started. A black child born today is less likely to be raised by both parents than a black child born during slavery, mostly due to the fact that we keep locking up black men. If you take into account prisons, a large majority of African American men in some urban areas have been labeled felons for life. Basically, we're creating a second class of citizens. These men can't get jobs, they can't vote, they can't do many things because we've labeled them felons for life. Now, a lot of these men are in jail because of drugs. Now, some people are going to chime into the comments below saying, well, they don't have to use drugs. Well, if you were raised in a war zone, you may not have the same outlook as you do not being raised in a war zone. And a lot of the places in America where we allow our black children to be raised are war zones. Not sort of war zones, not like war zones, not metaphorically, I'm not using hyperbole, I mean actual war zones. Places that look like they are right out of third world countries. As again, I have referenced in the past, and I'm going to do it now, read Kozol, K-O-Z-O-L, on Education in America for Minorities. It is heartbreaking. I have reviewed 2 of his books on this channel. Go look them up. Again, Kozol, K-O-Z-O-L. And we're creating this because of our absolutely asinine drug policies, our war on some drugs, because it's not a war on all drugs, particularly not the drugs that, say, actually cause the most harm in America, tobacco and alcohol. No, these are the drugs that are considered recreational and are listed as felony-type convictions because we want to. Now, you also say, well, if the black people didn't use them, they wouldn't go to prison. Well, there's also the fact that we give different breakdowns of charges. For a long time, until very recently, a crack cocaine charge could get you as much as 100 times as much time in jail as a powdered cocaine charge. Guess who uses more crack cocaine than powdered cocaine? Black people. Guess who uses more drug dealers on the street than in the office? Black people. Most white drug users are picking up their stuff from people they know. Drug dealers that are in the colleges or in the business districts, they're not picking up their drugs on the street in the open. So they're much more difficult to police. They're much more difficult to find. The police department would have to sink lots of time and effort into hunting down white-collar and white drug users, whereas opposed to a lot of the black and Latino community, they can just go to open-air drug markets, very easily find someone, and make arrests. Drive up those arrest numbers, make things look like you're tough on crime, and in the process, destroy African-American families in America today. So, yeah, I'm all for changing our drug laws. I think that we should decriminalize everything and treat them as medical conditions, not criminal conditions. I also think that we maybe want to look at what we've done to the African American community in America and see if we can rectify it. I'm not sure how we do it, but it's a conversation we should have. And we're not having it. Now, I can tell you right now there's going to be at least 5 commenters below telling me how I'm wrong, telling me that I'm speaking from white guilt or liberal guilt or I'm just off my rocker. I'm speaking out of compassion because I don't want to see families destroyed. I don't want to see African American men thrown in prison. I don't want to see as many Americans at all thrown in prison, particularly for these criminal charges that I think are absolute bull. So I'm not speaking out of guilt here. I'm speaking out of injustice. I'm speaking that there's something inherently unfair in America today. We are creating a caste system, just like they have in India. And I don't want to see a caste system in America. I don't want to see the caste system in India either. But they're at least trying to break their caste system down, while here in America, we seem bound and determined to create one as fast as we possibly can.